what you know about this.
Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer, Why I'm Not Buying the Switch 2. Let me tell you, I don't like the new direction that Nintendo's going in. This whole obsession that the whole industry has to monitor our speech is very disturbing. Now, you may joke around with your friends and make off-color jokes and what have you, but whose business is that other than yours and your friends? Why do these companies have this obsession with recording you and trying to ban you and police your speech? Police your speech over a game. This is what I find quite disturbing. You know, this whole new corporate view that Nintendo has. Nintendo lost its soul. This new executive from EA that, you know, they brought in to increase profits, because that's the only reason they brought him in, you know, is taking the company, in my view, in the wrong direction and not in a part that I want to be in. I have no need for the Switch 2. What can these machines here offer me that the Switch 2 is going to, you know, offer me? Is it better than my Steam Deck? No. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't even that happy with this. I mean, I'm happy with the content that I had on the Switch, but when you compare the Switch to the Steam Deck, it feels like an emulator from China. It really does. I mean, even compared to the Wii U. Let me tell you, that's the only way I play Breath of the Wild. It's a superior experience in my opinion, you know, with both screens. Regardless, if you ask Nintendo, they say, oh, we're not becoming more corporate. We're being more strategic. A business-minded set, because of all these factors, including tariffs and market conditions, and the company is now facing pressures because increased prices. Okay, well, what does that have to do with you breaking people's consoles because you don't like what they say? If you're Latino guys, Latino men are listening to me out there, and we are famous for using terms of endearment that are rather politically incorrect. Right? We address each other with terms of endearment that have to do with our sexuality, with our nationality, with our migrant status. Right? I'm not saying the words because I don't want to get this video banned. But every culture has something that, you know, people might not consider PC. And who the hell is Nintendo to police your speech? The craziest thing that I think is, especially here in the US, you'll sit here and criticize places like China, you know, countries that they've never been in, because they you get policed over there. Well, what do you think's going to happen with the Switch? If you say something off color, you know, do they report you if you get banned? What happens if people find out that you were banned from Nintendo? You said naughty things, right? What if they use it against you? They have to turn the information over to you know, whatever authority's asking for it. You could have been just joking. You could have been playing, I don't know, you could have been playing Scarface in the background. You could have been just mimicking the language of a movie, which we often do. For example, during gameplay, my friends and I were famous for reciting the lines of Scarface. We love that movie. But if somebody hears it online, they're not going to know the context. They're just going to report it. Right? What about the Diaz brothers? F the Diaz brothers. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you, this is the apocalypse of gaming. It really is. I'm going to go on a little rant here. And let me tell you, this is, I have this writing up on the Substack. It's free. I'm going to put a link down below. I just had a little more context. You know, when you're writing things, it's, you have more time, right? But guys, I grew up, clutching the controller of the Atari, right? I graduated to a ColecoVision, then to an NES, blowing into cartridges back in the day, right? That's what we did. We got real satisfaction from beating games, complete games, without cheat codes. You And today the game stores are full of these consoles. Why? Because they offer a superior experience. I don't know that the Switch 2 is going to offer a superior experience under the conditions that I just laid. And it's just not nostalgia. Retro gaming is fundamentally more satisfying, right, than modern gaming. And the reasons go deeper than just, we're just nostalgic of the games. No. Today's games come bloated with a payload of invasive licensing policies, all those agreements you got to sign. Diminished player ownership. We don't own the games anymore. I don't have to worry about that with my retro games. I own them all. Right? Ballooning prices, censorship. All that alienates a lot of older gamers like myself. I mean, we're not into having half a game, into buying something that doesn't have the game at all, where we don't have any ownership. It's crazy. In the retro era, when you bought the game, you owned it. The game didn't own you. That's the difference. You're giving away free speech. You're giving away your rights. You're giving away your legal rights. You can't even sue the company. When you agree to those agreements, you're going straight into arbitration. Not legal advice, by the way. But do you ever read those agreements? Most people don't. They just want to play the game. And they don't even know what they're signing. Modern licensing really is an invasion of privacy disguised as progress. And it's BS. Absolute BS. All these EULAs or end user license agreements, all these formalities are really just Trojan horses for surveillance. And people are not paying attention. They're not. If you get banned in a modern game, you don't, you lose access to that game, right? And to the entire product. Even single player components. Why is that? You paid real money for that. So you said something wrong in a multiplayer game. Okay. But then you also lose the single player experience? That doesn't make sense, does it? It's absolutely nuts. And the price of a pixel has never been higher with this new Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not going for it. Right? With base prices now at $80. Some of them have one-day DLC, battle passes, microtransactions, aggressively layered on top, and that goes for a lot of games. Contrast that with a Street Fighter 2, right? You can play Street Fighter 2, one card, one price, all characters, all stages, no patches, no FOMO, battle pass, nothing like that. The difference is retro games respected your time, right? 40 minutes, no 80 gigabytes installs where you have to wait 2 hours before you can play the game. It's curation over consumption. The games were better back there. They weren't giving you a bunch of slop. But I think the future of gaming is in the past. At some point people are going to realize the price they're paying for AAA games right now. Like the Switch 2. Nintendo has lost its soul. It's becoming just another corporation, another part of the bunch. And that's why I'm not buying the Switch 2. I'm just disappointed with the company's direction now. I really am. I own the stock, right? The stock could probably go higher. But as far as a gaming experience, it's not what I want. All right, humans, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.